Very good morning to all. Welcome to the second day of Municipalika conference cum exhibition. On stage C, here we have a session on circular economy and construction and demolition waste. So construction and demolition waste represent one of the largest waste producing streams globally. Yet this waste is increasingly being viewed as a valuable resource bank, shifting from a linear take, make, dispose model to a circular one, essentially for meeting the circular goals and resource security. So we'll start the session with, we have four panelists today here, chaired by Mr. Jyoti Shankar Beheraji, Superintending Engineer, CPWD, Government of India. Let me invite him onto this dais. The other panelists include Dr. Anil Kumar Roy, Senior Associate Professor, Faculty Planning, CEPT University. Dr. G.D. Kumara, Superintending Engineer, Karnataka State Highways Improvement Project. Mr. Kushagra Verma, AEE, CPWD, Government of India. Let me now hand over the session to Jyoti Shankar Beheraji. We have sufficient time, but yet I'll ask you to be as brief as possible so that whatever is required to be communicated is required in best possible manner. Thank you.
Good morning, esteemed delegates, speakers, delegates to this Municipalika. I'm honored to chair this session, first session of the second day, which is on circular economy and construction and demolition waste. As we are planning, as we are under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, we are planning for a developed India for 2047. So developed India will result in rapid urbanization in Tier 2 cities, Tier 3 cities, other than the metro cities. So in this rapid urbanization, we need to have a sustainable growth. In this sustainable growth, we cannot move in the linear economy. Linear economy, what is linear economy? It is take, produce, or take, build, and then dispose. We have to go for a circular economy which will be sustainable, which will be more focused on reduced consumption of resources, then more use on recycling. As we know, C&D waste is a major contributor to the waste, solid waste. It generally accounts for 30% in major cities. So we need to have a comprehensive plan, comprehensive guidelines, practice for utilization of this C&D waste. So now the new rules have come after the 2016 rules, new 2025 rules have come. It is more streamlined. We will have a discussion on this. So I will invite Sri Anil Kumar Roy sir to have his speech.
Can I have my... Good morning, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much, Chair sir, for giving me opportunity. Here, I have a disclaimer to make. I'm going to speak more on a solid waste management rather than construction demolition. It's not coming there, it's here. So, can you have... yes. So, excuse me for that because I'm just prepared for the solid waste management and also related to BRICS country, India comparative study. I'll talk more about a research background, because what is happening in the research in circular economy and solid waste management within BRICS countries, and how these research are unfolding into theory and practice. So where is the gap in practice? That's the main idea here. We have done it with my student, both of them name are here. So we did a part of the projects of ICSSR, and I need to acknowledge ICSSR for funding this project. So circular economy, to some extent all of you know about this. It's like it's keeping the material in the use for longer period of time, but solid waste management in circular economy, in solid waste management, to me is just to stop the dumping. If you stop the dumping, you achieve the circularity in solid waste. If you are dumping 10%, 20%, 30% of your waste, not processing, not reusing, it's not circular economy. And that's a backbone of these particular things. Why BRICS accounts for 40% of the total population of the world, and also rapidly urbanizing, and it's one of the fast growing countries in the world, and hence it is expected that they will also produce more waste. And therefore it's idea that what is happening in the research in these countries, and how these research are comparing to the developed world, how the developed world and the developing country leading by BRICS countries are faring together. They have circularity inbuilt in their policies. So this is very important here. So Brazil has their own policies, PNRS they call it. We have in India, as chair was saying, that we have now new rule 25 solid waste management rules, and EPR extended producer responsibility. China has circular proportional law, South Africa national waste strategy, and early circular economy pilots in Russia. These 5 countries are already inbuilt their solid waste research and policy into circularity. So they are there, but how far they are there needs to be identified. So my idea here is that based on the theoretical understanding, and we wanted to know the research, where these research are unfolding and what is happening in the research and how it informs the practice and implementations. 4 objective: 1, to identify the research, how many research has been done in this country since 97, and the leading authors and institutions and journals, what is the collaboration between the country and between the authors happening, between the institution in this country is happening, and what is the policy gap between the research and also the national policy that unfolds. And the last part is that the theory and practice there. Where is the implementation gap? This is the methodology. I'll try to skip here, but we did it Scopus, and we generated the query, and we got at least 14,500 odd research paper done within this country on circular economy and solid waste management. And that's a huge task to review all these research and find out what is happening. So for that we have used this Vosphere. It's a software which gives you the visual representation of networks and collaborations and authors, institutional arrangements. And this biometric matrix R, which is a software generated for the thematic area, quantitative and qualitative research has been done, and this MS Excel has been used to mismatch or identify the overlaps of the research, because sometimes query generates duplication. So we did that. 4 dimension is important here: publication trends, co-authors, pattern, keyword clusters, which gives us thematic area, which area is focused by the research in circularity and solid waste management, and country collaboration, which is very important for all of us here. How these BRICS countries are collaborating each other, how the authors are collaborating each other, how the institutions are collaborating. So 97 till 2010, not much progress in the research. 2010 onward, the huge steep rise in the and post 2015, which is coinciding with our Swachh Bharat mission, also there is impetus in the research program. This last year's is like little bit dip in the research on 2023, but it has picked up now. So the SDG has played a major role in producing this research, and also Swachh Bharat mission in India. China and India is leading in publications. But if you look at the 4th column, which is very important, Brazil is ahead for bringing circularity in solid waste management, not India. Out of the total research on solid waste management, circular is only this much. So 2%, 5% and 4% are, so we are like below 5% circular integration into solid waste management across the BRICS country, and that's the most disturbing aspect. We have not been able to integrate solid waste management into circularity. These are the top 10 journals which produces the research on, and the top one is waste management, obviously, because it will create much more research into the domain. And these are the list. I am not going to deal with this, just the impact factors and their publication numbers, but top are the 5 top if I have to: waste management, science of the total environment, waste management and research, resource recycling consideration. All these are the main. Here it's most important slides of the leading institution. China, 4-5 institutions are working on research on solid waste management: Tsinghua University and Beijing University. India, we have all IITs working on solid waste management, circularity, more engineering, more scientific temperament, not much on the policy side, not much on the social science integration, not much on the implementations and policy dimensions. Collaboration is strong within the cluster, within IITs, within country, and not much across the country, not much across this global south and global north. That's a disturbing idea. We have not been learning from global north countries. The developed countries doing differently solid waste management, circularity, but the BRICS particularly and India, we have not been following those ideas. The top cited research, this is just to identify, and these are all from BRICS country scholars. So not they are the one who have, the one is waste management in developing country. That's the pioneering paper which has been cited 300 times, more than 300 times, and across the different journals and all. So these are the authors. None of them are from India. This is important. So what is the research clusterizing? Which are the area where solid waste management, circular research are clusterizing? One is on the governance and sustainability, which is policy on circular. SDG is much more. Urban systems is there. Biological valorization, methane, trap and anaerobic digestions, biogas. Yeah, these are important idea on which the research has been. Composting, of course, one of the major in the biological. Technical treatment, incinerations, leachates, heavy metals, recovery, all these are the area where solid waste management research are concentrated. Environmental health is coming up in a good way. People are working on what is the aspects of environmental health due to the solid waste mismanagement, and that's most important. So these are the 4 clusters of idea where research has been done. Country collaboration is important. China, India is leading in the research, but they are not coming closer to collaborate on solid waste management. Brazil and South Africa is collaborating at the regional hub, and the bridge between these global south and global north are the US, Germany and UK, and they are trying to fund it through multilateral or bilaterals to this research program in the BRICS country. So there are the bridge between BRICS and the global north. Policy framework, we have already seen this policy framework. Policy is there, but there is a huge gap in between the, I'll just take one more minute. Global North integrates engineering, economics and governance. BRICS engineering heavy, minimal social and policy engagement. Result is low cross sectoral collaborations and low cross country collaborations. Not much happening global south to south, global north to north, but within BRICS also it's theory and practice. I am done. Research focuses on theoretical aspects of the solid waste management. Need to carry research on implementation and institutional building in solid waste management in BRICS country. Segregation at source is most important bottleneck for circularity in solid waste. If you are not segregating, you are not going to achieve zero waste. You are not going to achieve. International collaboration on policy issue is very weak. Not much supports from global north is also coming. Multilaterals are also not supporting solid waste management in circularity. No World Bank projects I have seen in India which is supported by for the solid waste management. Country to country collaboration related to bilaterals, not multilateral. Solid waste management practice I hold on here. Policy implications I have talked about, the weak linkages between theory and practices, more social science integration, more collaboration with the policy and governance aspects has to be done, and this is how the message is coming up from across 5 countries. Thank you very much. much. This research was done by the ICSSR project. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much.
Quite an enlightening presentation on research going on. Very well said, sir. First word you told, stop dumping. That is the backbone of circular economy. Now I will invite Sri Dr. G.D. Kumara, Superintendent Engineer, Karnataka State Highway Improvement Project.
So, good morning to all the delegates, engineers and policy makers and research fellows present here. I am going to talk about today reclaimed asphalt pavement and their circular, how it is contributing by using the RAP into circular economy. So, every year millions of tons of asphalt is being used for the rigid payments, flexible payments. Thousands of kilometers of road is constructing, and reconstruction of roads are being done. So that million tons of asphalt is going over in the construction, and over that only we are laying layer by layer. So in order to in case of improvements and developments, we are milling and removing, or in some cases wherever the payments are failed, we are going to remove the entire full depth pavement, and we are going to relay or redesign based on the load requirements. So I will quote an example from K-Ship. I am from K-Ship. K-Ship has developed nearly 4,400 kilometers of total road development till now since its inception. With K-Ship is working with the financial assistance of ADB and World Bank and by JICA and all. So in that nearly 4,400 kilometers road we have removed and reconstructed, removed the top layers and reconstructed. Somewhere full depth we have removed and reconstructed. So thousands of tons of asphalt has been removed, and if we use, what will happen? So we have to see the adaptability, that means strength parameters, engineering technical parameters. The asphalt already once used, it will become stiffness will be there compared to the original bitumen. There is a stiffness issue, and Marshall stability test has to be done to find out the stiffness, and we have to improve completely. We cannot use the reclaimed asphalt. We can only use certain percentage where more than IRC codes also provisions already made in that to use the RAP, and IRC more specification 501 and 902 and section 300, and as well as IRC 120 also they are recommended practicing for recycling of the bituminous pavements in the reconstruction of roads. So reclaimed asphalt consists of 90% of aggregates, whereas bitumen layer 90 to 95% of the aggregates, and aged bitumen binder will be 5 to 7%. It depends on the layer, like DBM or BC, and filler extra fraction will be there. Laboratory characterization includes gradation analysis, and bitumen content extraction we have to do and test, and penetration and softening point of the recovered binder, and specific gravity, CBR, resilient modulus, moisture susceptibility. Then RAP aggregates are already coated, because we need not coat, we have to coat it again. What will happen when reusing of this coated aggregates, there might be dust accumulated over the aggregates, that result into gaps. The cracks will develop in the bitumen coated over the aggregates, and that leads to failure because of the moisture entering into the aggregates. So that possibility is there. So we have to this one, we have to use some chemicals in order to increase the bonding between the aggregates and stability also. So the CBR values of this one virgin granular subgrade and wrap material are tabulated here. CBR is for virgin granular subgrade, it is 8 to 12%, and wrap material is 20 to 35% because it's already used, and then resident modulus is 80 to 120 MPa, and our wrap material is 150 to 300 MPa. So that permeability is moderate in the virgin aggregates and wrap material low to moderate. So wrap significantly enhances the structural capacity when blended about 30 to 50%, depends on the layer in which we are using. With soil for subgrade improvement we can use, or we can use in the bituminous layers like DBM and BC also we can use. But when we are using with the highest load class, the traffic load, that is 30 and above MSA, we should be very careful. We have to test with the design mix, and we have to validate the data, check the data before using it. So otherwise there may be failures, because we are using the recycled aggregates, and this one stiffened bitumen. Definitely there is a possibility of developing of the alligator cracks or failure of bitumen. So if we use at higher percentage, but we have to use at lower percentage, but we have to use some chemicals like xylitol or evotherm, like that, but in order to enhance the bonding between the aggregates, the coating of the aggregates properly. So that's why. Then virgin, but some of the properties of virgin binder and wrap binder are tabulated here. That penetration of virgin binder is 50 to 70 degrees Celsius and 70 degree, and recovered wrap binder is 15 to 30. Softening point is 47 to 52 degrees. And here recovered wrap binder, it requires more temperature, 60 to 70 degree. So viscosity of virgin aggregates is moderate, and recovered wrap binder is high, and aging index is low, where it is high. So wrap binder is stiffer due to oxidation, because it is already subjected to loads, various loads and impacts. In subgrade use, binder stiffness improves cohesion. Not suitable alone for surface layers without rejuvenators. That rejuvenators we have to add in the surface layers. Nowadays they are using like xylitol and other chemicals as rejuvenators, so that enhances the strength, bonding and strength. In lower layers, stiffness becomes an advantage. So quality control protocol, we have to ensure the structural reliability, so that controlled milling depth and segregation free stockpiling, fraction if required, blending ratio control 30 to 50%, compaction, moisture optimization, field density test has to be carried, and CBR validation before overlay. Adopt plant mixed blending rather than uncontrolled site mixing. Plant mixing and testing is before use is required. So cautions to be taken while using the wrap. High water table zones are there without drainage. There we should avoid using this wrap. And expansive clay subgrades, there also it is not suitable. Where poorly compacted sub embankments, we should not use there. And avoid excess use of wrap above 50%. Normally above 50% without stabilization we should not use. And variability between batches, that consistency should be there. And avoid contamination. Soil mixing during the milling should be avoided. So engineering judgment must prevail over enthusiasm. We have to take the test, mix, and then we have to put into use. So what are other limitations of applicability is not recommended for standalone structured layer for heavy axle load corridors. That's what I said. For SH and NH, the load carrying traffic will be more than 30 MSA. So we should be very careful in using in SH and NH. And then performance depends on uniformity of the milling source. Then moisture sensitivity is very high, and long term creep behavior under saturated conditions requires further research. So still the design has to be validated. It is going on, but it should be, that's why it is not directly don't use for higher MSA loads, traffic loads. So village roads and other roads, MDR also we can use where traffic load is very less. And rehabilitation projects also we should not use. So without proper design. So these are the cost savings when we use for the 2-lane road. Aggregate procurement is suppose for per kilo 300 mm layer per kilometer. If it is 45 lakhs, then RAP is 20 lakhs and 25% savings will be there. If you use about 30%, then transportation, disposal cost, processing cost, so nearly 40 to 50 lakhs we are saving per kilometer. That is 40 to 50% savings will be there in this one. Then aggregate carrying capacity, also reduction, the hauling fuel, disposal, handling, processing, in that also we are saving. And the CO2 release it will be nearly 0.5 tons in processing of the bitumen, and as well as in disposal of handling and even quarrying also CO2 will be released. So that we have to we can reduce nearly 60% of the carbon reduction per kilometer usage of this RAP is there. So this directly supports the India's net zero policy, and so naturally we can conserve the aggregates, because we need not shift the RAP material, reclaimed material to another site, and distance will be saved, time will be saved, and labor will be saved, as well as carbon also will be saved. So that's why cut emissions, it enhances the pavement strength also, reduces project cost. So as highway engineers, we design assets that last decades. So the question before us is not whether RAP can be reused. The question is, can we afford not to reuse it? That is very important. And instead of wasting, throwing somewhere else and creating another environmental problem and climate issue, so we have to we can reuse and reduce the cost. Also, we can bring down the carbon footprints. So let us build, recover and rebuild. Let us not build and forget. Okay. So this is with this I will conclude. Thank you for giving an opportunity to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. G.D. Kumara. In this scenario of rapid urbanization, there will be a rapid growth in highways and roads. And highways and roads are a major contributor for repairing or new construction, major contributor in producing the C&D waste in recycled this asphaltic particles. So, sir gave an idea on how the engineering part of it, what the precautions to be done, what is the savings cost in terms of carbon footprint, how we can achieve sustainability in adoption. Thank you, sir. Now I will invite Kushagra Verma, AWE CPWD.
Good morning to the dignitaries present here. So I am Kushagra Verma, Assistant Executive Engineer in the Central Public Works Department, Government of India. I'll be talking about how CPWD is enhancing the use of construction and demolition waste products in its day-to-day public works. We have a diverse portfolio covering throughout India. We not only build academic institutions, health infrastructure, but also build sports infrastructure for the government, developing the national capital, especially the Central Vista project, the redevelopment projects, various housing schemes, road, bridges, tunnels, heritage conservation, and a lot more. So such bulk of public works throughout India requires sustainability to be incorporated in construction if we are to achieve the sustainable development goals given by the United Nations, as well as the Panchamrit goals given by our Honorable Prime Minister. Talking about circular economy, as my learned colleagues stated the various definitions of circular economy, these definitions or guidelines issued by the Press Information Bureau, the thing which appealed to me was the 6 R's. From my childhood, I have been hearing about 3 R's and 4 R's. But moving towards 6 R's, which are the reduce, reuse, recycle, refurbish, recover, and repairing of materials. I'm sure that incorporating these 6 R's is in any, not just construction activities, but in any kinds of procurement of goods and services will surely take us towards circular economy, which focuses on an economic model to produce more goods and services in a sustainable way. As Behera sir told us about the construction and demolition waste management rules in 2025, these are an upgrade from the previous existing rules in 2016. In these rules, C&D waste is not only clearly defined, but also the scope of C&D waste is told in detail. As per the traditional understanding that C&D waste comprises only of cement, concrete, brick, plaster, stone, rubble, tiles, it also tells us that in the C&D waste materials, we have iron, wood, plastic, metal, and glass, which have a high resaleable value, thus increasing the commercial point of view of C&D waste materials. Some of the features of these rules which personally appeal to me are the extended producer responsibility and environmental compensation. These have been in place in the European Union's waste framework directives long ago, and I'm glad that these have been incorporated in the Indian legislation as well. The extended producer responsibility says that the management of construction and demolition waste is not just the role of the bulk generators or the contractors which are managing the site, but it is also the role of the individual producers who produce, let's say, 5 tons or 10 tons of waste per day on their site, undergoing either a demolition work or repair and maintenance work or renovation work. It's their responsibility as well. They are made a part of the stakeholder arrangement, that they also have to ensure that their waste is properly managed, properly disposed of, and can be recycled and reused on their site again and again. These rules also give out the guidelines for the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, for which I am working. The first guideline which the rules, the mandates which tells MAHUA to do is incorporate in the schedule of rates the various processed construction and demolition waste materials. CPWD, before these mandates were given out, has already incorporated a lot of such materials, which I'll be talking about in the coming slides. Apart from these, sensitization, which is a huge challenge, as talked about as my colleagues also talked about, challenges about quality apprehensions. So it is the responsibility of MAHUA, moreover the government, to sensitize not only the urban local bodies, but regular citizens as well about the use and the benefits of adopting C&D waste on their sites. Apart from these, strengthening the legal frameworks includes modifying the building bylaws as well, and creating some evaluation and performance criteria so that we can judge the compliance of these rules effectively on the fields at the urban local body level, where they are maximum generated and maximum utilized. The work that CPWD has done towards achieving sustainability. Firstly, we are focused on reducing the carbon footprint. All our public infrastructure works, all our buildings covered under it, have a minimum GRIHA's 3-star rating. GRIHA is the green rating for integrated habitat assessment. So it has a rating system from 1 to 5 stars, and all our public works are at least 3, with major of our public works falling in the rating sector 4 and 5. Apart from that, I'll be talking about in the current slides about how we have elevated the use of recycled C&D waste products in our day-to-day construction activities, starting with the National Capital, Delhi. We are also focused on doing significant research in the field of construction and demolition waste and collaborating with various agencies. Last year, we signed a memorandum of understanding with SINTEF, a scientific research organization based in Norway and other Scandinavian countries, on capacity building of Indian engineers, state engineers, central government engineers, and PSUs as well, to understand the role of C&D waste and to incorporate it more efficiently in our day-to-day construction activities. And a current MOU with IISc Bangalore is also under process to understand in a better way how RAP, as sir talked about, reclaimed asphalt pavement, RCA and RA, recycled concrete aggregate, and recycled aggregates, how they can be used in structural concrete works as well, apart from the non-structural concrete, which is currently in use now. These are the various initiatives which CPWD took, which I'll be talking about in detail in the coming slides. First is the provision in the work manual. These provisions in the work manual are later incorporated at the contract stage when CPWD comes into a contract with, let's say, any user department or any contractor. So we have mandated that at least a building till the height of 15 meters will have the necessitated use of construction and demolition waste products. And apart from that, some other legal mandates on green and sustainable development. In the schedule of rates, which CPWD follows, and many other state governments and other engineering organizations throughout the country also follows, till date, we have included 54 items of processed C&D waste materials in the schedule of rates, covering a huge scope of different varieties, like PCC items, RCC items, pathways, masonry work. So they focus on non-structural concrete work as well, along with the various developmental works which are done across the sites. Time to time, CPWD also does various knowledge dissemination workshops, knowledge sharing workshops, seminars, and through various circulars, it keeps motivating and keeps making aware its own engineers about how they can incorporate C&D waste materials in their projects in a better way, and also make them aware about the existing legal mandates that are in place so that they are able to adhere to it properly. We also have an online registration system inbuilt by CPWD where chief engineers or superintendent engineers from throughout the country upload their data on that server, so that at a centralized level, CPWD is able to identify how much C&D waste is being generated and how much is being utilized and processed. The SOR provision, the schedule of rate provisions that on the items that we have included in our DSR in the schedule of rates are totally in line with the mandate given by the Bureau of Indian Standards. So we are not compromising with the legal mandate, existing legal mandates. We are trying to promote that in our day-to-day construction activities as well. As I told earlier, that over the years, CPWD has increased the utilization of waste in its construction project. Starting in 2021, when because of COVID, much of the construction industry was hit, and as the COVID effects slowly walled down, the construction industry again rose up to its peak from 2023 to 2024 to 2025. The processed C&D waste utilization also kept increasing gradually, and as we now see that almost 45%, touching almost about 50% of the processed C&D waste is being utilized in CPWD projects itself. The graph here clearly shows that as soon as the restrictions of COVID were removed off, as soon as the construction industry started coming back to normal, the utilization of C&D waste materials also started to increase in CPWD projects. I give this credit to the inclusion in the work manual, that is in the legal contractual framework, and also about the awareness that our engineers started to have about utilizing these products at site, because these are not only environment friendly, but also economical and cost saving. Some of the case studies which I'll be talking about about Delhi, where we have successfully incorporated C&D waste materials, are the prestigious Central Vista project along the Kartavya Path, the general pool residential complexes, basically housing complexes for central government employees in Mohammadpur, in Kasturba Nagar, and in Tyagaraja Nagar, all located in around central Delhi and South Delhi. The common products that we have currently successfully incorporated in site and are in use are the recycled curbstones, recycled aggregates to do the development works in and around the site, recycled paver tiles and recycled masonry blocks, which can be used in the infill blocks or creating boundary walls and so on. In the Central Vista Common Secretariat buildings, which are now known as the Kartavya Bhavan 1, 2 and 3, recently inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister, there as well we had an on-site concrete recycling facility, which though at a small scale, but used to recycle concrete on-site only. So the need for transporting them through big trucks and big dumpers to the existing facilities, which were quite far, that reduced. So not only saving carbon emissions during the transport, but also saving carbon emissions at that particular site as well. The Tyagaraja Nagar GPRA colony, the residential colony for the central government employees, there in the non-structural works along the pavement, we have used the checkered tiles and curbstones, which are not only aesthetically beautiful, but as mentioned earlier, they are environmentally sustainable and cost-effective as well. On similar lines, in the Kasturba Nagar Central Government Housing Complex in New Delhi, we have the paver block for cycle tracks, we have the curbstones made as a distinction for the footpaths, and same for footpath area cycle tracks. Likewise, these are the further images which these structures are in use, and successfully we have incorporated the recycled C&D processed products in these projects. As you can see, these can be used in the development works carried in and around the sites as well, and a variety of products, not just a single product. And these are some of the more pictures from the Kasturba Nagar Central Government Housing Complex, where these products have been incorporated. Now, the main challenges which we have faced and which the country is definitely facing in the slow adoption of processed C&D waste materials is firstly quality-related apprehensions. In our minds, in any user department's mind, it's still there that the quality or the strength or the durability of the processed C&D waste materials will not be at par with the virgin materials which they currently use. So that's one thing, though to some extent it's not that right. And to make corrections in these quality related apprehensions, CPWD is doing its research in collaboration with various education institutions in India as well. So very soon we'll be coming up with guidelines as to why the quality of processed C&D waste materials is at par or almost at par with the virgin materials. Second, which I feel is the most important challenge or the most challenging challenge, is this lack of segregation at source. As Professor Sir also talked about, that in India the segregation at source is lacking. So when, let's say, construction and demolition waste material from 2 or 3 sites is mixed in a truck and then sent to a recycling plant, at that plant, segregating those wastes into different materials like concrete aggregates or bricks or mortars, at that plant it becomes very tedious, which not only takes out a lot of time but is very costly as well, thus bringing down the total economics of the whole C&D waste processing process. So if we also focus on segregation at source, then that will be definitely helpful in making this whole process quite economical. Apart from this, the existing recycling infrastructure, even that is a big challenge. Delhi has now a lot of C&D waste processing plants, but as we go outside Delhi, there's a plant in Ahmedabad, there's a plant in Bangalore, there's a plant in Mumbai. So major cities do have a plants, but the tier 2 and tier 3 cities where still a lot of construction work is going on, a lot of demolition work is going on, a lot of maintenance work is going on, still existence of C&D waste plants there is lacking. So the next focus can be towards increasing this recycling infrastructure. The enforcement gaps are also there. There are cases where we do hear that even though the rules are in place, the plants are in place, and the intent is also in place, but somewhere or the other, because of this enforcement gap, because of maybe the laziness or carelessness of some people in the whole supply chain, these rules are not being implemented properly. And the most important being the lack of awareness as well. Me being an engineer also, about a few years back, didn't have so much knowledge about C&D waste materials and whether they are suitable for the industry or not suitable for the industry. So the more you read, the more awareness programs are carried out, and conferences like these also spread awareness about C&D waste products and how they are able to contribute not only to sustainability, but also to reducing cost effectiveness. One major suggestion which Sir also talked about is doing deconstruction and not demolition. Deconstruction is, currently we are more focused on deconstruction. Deconstruction is the rapid demolition of a building. Currently we should do deconstruction and not demolition. In demolition, we do the rapid demolition of a building without segregating the different materials. Let's say if a building is broken down, then as-built brick pieces are also thrown in the construction debris. Some glass pieces or some metals might also be thrown in the debris. Instead of that, if a proper deconstruction plan is made, wherein first the wooden items, let's say whether it's in the windows or in the doors or in the side rails, first the wood items are separated out or taken out, then the metal items can be taken out, the glass items can be separated, then the gypsum, tiles, false ceiling items can be then further separated or demolished. And then finally the real concrete and the real brick items which have the chunk or the bulk of the debris, then they can be separated out. If we can start as a contractor or as a user department or as a construction execution agency, if we can start from this point in enforcing deconstruction and non-demolition, and doing demolition, if we have to do demolition, then have a proper demolition plan in place. Even then we'll be moving towards doing segregation at source, which will make it easier for the person sitting as the recycled plant, C&D processing plant, to further process the waste, will bring the time and economy, time and the cost involved both to a minimum level. So in the way forward, obviously research is one way to take this forward, because that will not only reduce the quality apprehensions, but also bring out new guidelines as to how these can be incorporated. Technology, definitely, if the more technology, the more compact we can make a recycling plant, so that it can not only be mobile, but also fixed in a very small compact space. That will be a nice thing for the C&D waste industry. Capacity building, training our engineers also to incorporate C&D waste products in their site, and how and where they can incorporate, not just in non-structural work or development works, but also in structural concrete as well. Enhanced initiatives both at the central government level, state government level, urban local body level, where the real field work happens. And obviously advocacy by the government bodies, by private construction agencies, by PSUs, by everybody in fact who is a stakeholder in the construction industry, so that we can make this a success And very soon, we might, from our initial target of 10 to 20% of C&D waste utilization, we can go towards 80% or 90% waste utilization, as done in the European Union and other countries out of India. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Kushagra. Quite wide range of topics we have covered regarding the policy, the implementation, and the challenges. Now the policy is in place, technology is there, implementation gaps. We have to understand the problems like logistic problems, costing problems. All these problems need to be addressed so that we can achieve what the policy intends and what the rules, what the sustainability goal are intent. So now I will conclude this session with thanks to the speakers. Questions? Okay. Okay. Any questions?
I think it's been a very useful presentation. You got to really congratulate the way in which all the three have made the presentation. Anil gave me a global picture on the 4 major countries for his research work. And also, in particular, the presentation of Kumara. First time I'm hearing the road-related material being done. Whenever you talk of construction demolition waste, we always hear only of how to use the aggregate, concrete to be broken, glass to be done, which all been very well brought out in the presentation by our young Kushagra. Normally the road waste has not been given coverage. To that extent, I want to congratulate Kumara to bring the wonderful work being done in Karnataka, in the Indian Roads Congress standards also, to deal with this particular thing in a very large way. And let me congratulate Kushagra for the wonderful presentation that you made from the CPWD side and the great initiatives that has been done for the C&D waste management. I just thought he may also add, just like the Indian Roads Congress people have brought out the standards for using road-related material to be done for C&D waste. The Bureau of Indian Standard has brought IS codes to deal with recycled material to be used, because the doubt on quality issue that he brought over there is covered because large number of standards have been brought down by the ISI, Civil Engineering Department, to use only C&D waste material for various, as fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, various things, the standards levels of, and where we can use and where we can't use, what percentage, just like what he said over there, what percentage of the RAP can be used with respect to the other one, you have also requirements to put on that. That could have been done. But I think it's you deserve a real clap from everybody. It's a wonderful presentation. As a young man, you brought very forcefully, you brought out that particular application. This requires to be increasingly disseminated. I agree. And put also in your contract document, so much percentage of the work should be C&D waste. Like CPWD has shown it through all your Central Vista project and various other projects there, you have shown it, and that's the only way forward to do that. These are my observations. I just thought, otherwise I'm glad I sat through and heard all the presentations. I want to congratulate the chairman and the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh sir. Actually, we are in the research and collaboration also in CPWD to improve the percentage. Now, IS code says only 15% of replacement of aggregates. We are now in the research of improving that. So,
is it in the concrete application where
Yes,
you're worried
yes.
about the strength of an M15, M20, M30 concrete.
It is concrete
When you
aggregate.
use recycled aggregate to be brought in over the IS 383 deals with the aggregate.
Yes.
So therefore, in that aggregate, when you recycle that material, the strength cannot be the same as expected of a virgin material, which Kushagra also mentioned about that. Virgin material is a normal material. So when you use a recycled material, it doesn't have the same one. That is why these limits have been put over there. Even the latest version of the National Building Code, which is now going to come out shortly, and IS 456 latest document, I hope everybody is aware, that's under circulation now.
Yes.
Wide circulation for the whole country, where reinforced concrete, pre-stressed concrete, your one document called the structural concrete. One document is coming. Recycled aggregate use is also put over there. But I agree, these are things on which people like SCRC, structural engineers, they are the only one who can give it. NCBM, National Center for Cement and Building Material, Ballabgarh, and SCRC in Chennai, CBRI in this place, or other IITs, if they do some work on that, using normal virgin material, what is the strength coming? Using the recycled material as one of the items, it's one among the components of the concrete or whatever, and what is the strength coming? They should be able to indicate, to give confidence that 15 se 20 karna, ya 20 se 25 karna, whatever, like which IRC has done. IRC has done through the work of CRRI. Their agency is called Central Road Research Institute in Okla. They have done the particular using recycled asphalt. Because every time you have to remove the top aggregate, top asphaltic layer and put a new layer over there. Otherwise, one layer or the other they are putting on that. So some scientific basis should be there that when you use the recycled material, your strength, durability and efficacy is not eroded. So that's the thing. But I am glad you're already working with some of the R&D bodies. Some was mentioned by him already. Okay. Please proceed, sir.
Like DD Kumar sir told, there is a limit on 30% replacing in lower layers in asphalt. Here in IS code, it is 15% for higher grades, or 100% they are using for
Aggregates.
That is recycled concrete aggregate. There is a gap in technology for processing of the C&D waste also, so that the improved quality can be improved.
But Chairman, I thought I should tell one more thing. That is only when you use structural concrete there. But as she said, large number of items which are not, like paver block, you can use the whole thing to be done. For example, you have one of the
for lower layers also, for subgrades, for
you can do that.
PCC, it is there.
And I just said I should bring to your notice, just like your initiative here, the Godrej company based in Mumbai, unfortunately they could not come for the presentation here. They are making a fantastic C&D waste manufacturing unit there. All the waste coming in all construction sites in different parts of Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, all are collected and brought to Vikhroli. They make large number of products, not only paving blocks, curb stones, aggregate, various as part of the breaking of it, they do that. So this percentage waste is only in using structural concrete. Let's make it understand. Otherwise people go out of this room thinking that 15% is put. No,
that is for lower grade concretes, for lean concrete, for base concretes, not for structural concretes. Not for structural concrete.
That's what I'm telling you now. For using structural concrete for slabs and various other columns, beams, etc., that's where the 15% limit is put.
Limit
So
comes.
not for other applications, 100% construction demolition waste can be used. So people should get the right picture. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Sir, I am Engineer K.P. Satyamurthy from Chennai. My question is to the CPWD. Very nice to see that you have brought everything in scheduler rates, construction and demolition waste. My question is, during construction, for example, you take this building, it takes 3 years to complete it. During construction, there will be some waste, construction waste. Why don't you, my suggestion is, why don't you think about that during construction waste will be there. In that building itself, we can recycle it and use it. That is the important thing. Why I am saying this because in recently in Hong Kong, in November, 32-story building, 8 blocks has got fire. The main reason is during the maintenance of the building, they have dumped the construction waste in ground floor, like thinner, like waste materials. It got fire. It went up to 8 floors. Nearly 100 people have died and 68 were. So you thought of collecting the demolished waste and putting it into the, transmitting it to the another site and recycling product, then reusing it. Instead, in situ, that site itself, we can recycle it and we can use it. You please thought of about it. Thank you.
Actually, we have done in Central Vista project, we have established a recycling plant there at site. So I think that will be the next solution, because we are facing a problem in logistics, in implementation. So on-site C&D waste recycling plant is going to be a solution for future. So we have already done it in Central Vista project, and we are trying for other projects also. Thank you for the suggestions.
I am J.K. Prasad. I am ex-director BIS Civil Engineering and also ex-chief building material in BMTPC.
Sure.
In BMTPC, I had initiated to bring out a guideline on C&D waste. Before this rule 16, 2016 was made by CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board. So in this, one thing which we faced, that how much waste is generated in the country, it is not well defined. From 10 millions to 650 millions.
It's quite a big range.
It's quite big range.
Yes.
Yeah. So first thing, a proper methodology is required to know what is the amount of waste generated. And here, the discussion which was going on, I think NBCC in their reconstruction projects
Yes.
have also used the demolished
Yes.
waste, making bricks. And some, not 100% bricks were used. I think some bricks were used. I don't know what has happened to that technology, which was, I think, in collaboration with some Israeli firm or some enzyme they were putting in the mix and making bricks at the site itself. So then the one thing which deconstruction is there is no guidelines for deconstruction, and immediate requirement is to prepare a guideline for deconstruction, not only for larger projects, even for small houses also it is required. How to remove, he has already explained about the doors, wooden materials, things.
Yes.
So that if it is done at the site, at the demolition center, the problem will be less. Because when we
segregation at source is one of the primary solutions. We have to move towards that.
That is required. That is. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Pooja.
Yeah, so I am bringing to you a very granular problem. Many of India's smaller cities, they have natural materials like kota stones and other stones as part of their streets. And we worked in a project in Mathura where there were really nice, good load-bearing stones which were laid on the street, and during the project we had to take them. I tried to reuse it and reached out to CRRIR and all other people. They couldn't give me the standards or codes or any way to work with it, and it was pathetic that we had to put paver blocks there. You know, it was good quality material which never got back into the cycle. So is there any codes or any process that can help the general public, designers and people working on site with this?
This is natural stones previously laid that were removed, but they could not be reused.
There were no codes or standards available.
No, local materials, there is actually for natural materials, local materials, there is no standard available, but it can be used. It has to be a collaborative approach towards it. Architects should specify on it, the engineers should agree on it, then it can be done.
Okay, so thank you for your answer. I know that right now there will be no answer for this, but I am bringing it up that this is happening all across.
Okay.
That means you are going to reuse again one more time. There is no separate one. Even for stones, there are natural stones being used of different category, including Kota stone, various Kadapa stone, marble, various other one. There are specifications available for that. If that product that you use there is still good, removed from a place, you should use it, that's all. Only thing is, the concerned architect and the engineer in charge should be able to, the standard, the quality is still good. That's all. What separate standard is required? Standard is already available. Standard is already available for all the natural stones to be used for construction over there, for tiling to be done. It's all available. Just by the way, gentleman is from the Bureau of Indian Standard. He has been standardization for 30 years time period. Already standards are available. There's no problem. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. Let's conclude the session. May I request Suresh sir to present the mementos to all the speakers on the dais. To the chairperson Jyoti Kumar Shankar Behra. Dr. Anil Kumar Roy. Dr. G.D. Kumara. Mr. Kushagra Verma.